Yeah, that looks good.
Looks good? All right. We're good?
Yep.
You ready to go?
Yep.
All right.
This is awesome.
We did it. We're... Oh, this feels so good. I am so...
90s legend.
90s legend. JDM legend. I am so excited. This is like... I don't really have too much of attachment to this car, like, philosophically, but I am so excited to get to drive it.
I know.
Oh, okay. First glance on this interior. I mean, what do you think? I like it.
I really like it. I like the way the radio, the climate, and the actual radio controls, they're all like kind of circular. It fits nice.
Yeah.
It all just makes sense almost.
We have like a really good layout here. Everything kind of angular and like pressed forward a little bit. The windshield is pretty far away from us.
Yeah, like it's a reach to get there.
Yeah, but what you do need is right at your fingertips. The steering wheel is the perfect size. We have little horns on this.
Yeah, like a Ferrari. The old Ferrari horns on the.
Yeah, we got the little things.
Does it sound nice? Does the horn sound?
It does. We have this.
It's a cute horn.
We have this amazing shifter in the middle. Little handbrake. Pretty
black leather. That's really hot.
Black leather, very hot today. It's a nice hot day today in Connecticut.
Yep.
And we have the visors.
Yeah.
They cover up part of the top above where the
they're cut out
is.
for the rearview mirror because
fun?
You don't want to block your rearview mirror.
Because why not? And I just it feels so like 90s / early 2000s.
Yeah,
but
very
to the max.
leathery.
Something else to note: the turn signal stock and all the other switches gear here feels incredibly clicky to use, which is really fun, and just gives it more of a premium feel. Even though this is a Honda, essentially.
I really didn't know that Hondas could be this nice.
No.
I've been in a few newer ones, and they're nice, but they're not this nice. This is a 2005.
Yeah, and it's just
and I mean all
fantastic.
The switches feel like early 2000s, like clicky. But that kind of like gooey clicky, that's nice. We got our cigarette lighter and ashtray. That
it pops out.
Has an ejectable ashtray.
And it has some like decent practicality. You have a space in the back. We have a trunk. No space up front, but
yeah. Well, we have our spare tire in front.
We do have a spare tire in front.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It's that.
I mean, but like, it's weird to think that a car that started in the 90s really has such a cool and like fun interior. Like I feel special in this interior. It's so cool.
I know.
And speaking of that special, the engine's also very special. I think we should start it up.
Right? Probably. I mean, how else would we drive
Whatever you want to do. If you want to.
How else would we drive it? I mean, I think I should start it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good point. Let me get my key. And to push it in the side, it's a normal key start. Go ahead and turn over a little bit more. Lights start coming on.
AC starts
turning on. Let's turn that off.
Let's turn that off.
And let's get started up. Very nice. And you know what? We have been driving it a little bit. It is warm, and I will just give it a little.
Give it a little beans.
A little bit of beans. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's so good. Let's get it on the road. And I gotta say, already, this manual transmission is so sweet. It's unbelievable how tight it is.
It sounds just
angry. It's so stable and smooth. So this doesn't have the most power in the world. It's got 290 horsepower, as we mentioned before, and it's quick. It gets. Oh wow! It does not feel lacking at all. I don't want more power. This just feels perfect.
Yeah. And one thing I do have to note is that I'm like kind of scrunched right now because if I was sitting normally, my head's hitting the roof.
Yeah.
And my head is literally over the windows. So I'm kind of like scrunched down.
And the seats are unusually tall. I think we probably mentioned this in the intro. Yeah, the seats are
really high. I feel like there's gotta be a way
to lower it, but I don't think so. But I think that obviously like the open top experience is just so cool in this thing. hopefully the audio is okay. One of the things you notice right off the bat is even in like 6th gear, we're going maybe like 50 miles an hour right now, and it's hitting like 2,000 revs, nothing crazy. It feels comfortable and smooth. We're on New England back roads, and we don't have the best roads here, of course, but the actual suspension feels very comfortable.
How is it to like rev match and everything? Is it
rev matching here? I'm gonna go into 3rd. Easiest pie. It feels so natural, and it's so easy to rev. And I mean, listen to that! Oh my god, the way you put it into gear feels so good. Oh my god, and that's the most surprising thing.
It's not. We just got out of the Blue Devil, and that thing was filled with carbon.
Yep.
And it was trying to be like this huge supercar killer. This thing does it so much more effortlessly.
Yep.
We have nice silver interior. We have creature comforts.
It's not gaudy. It's not overstyled. It's not. It's like clean and elegant.
We do have a display.
We have a tiny little
just for our time.
For the time.
Classic Acura.
But nothing excessive. And it feels like exactly what you need to have a good time just driving it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Honda nailed so well with this, or Acura,
Honda, Acura.
Same thing.
Auto group.
Yep.
Call it. Yeah. I like how there's vents everywhere. Just on my side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 of them are in the door. Because you have to fit room for the glove box and the airbag.
This car is decently big. I mean, like, it's not small. And it was, at the time, a supercar killer. It was a supercar by standards of the day. By
all standards, yeah.
Except for the V6. People didn't like the fact that it had a V6. All supercars back then had V8s and V12s and things. This was the underdog. It came in with, like, not as much power as those monsters back in the day, but with more heart. I feel like it's a dream to drive.
Yeah.
And you see these occasionally with over 100,000 miles, and you can kind of tell why. The seats are comfortable. I have good visibility out of the rear, out of the mirrors. It's decently like comfortable. I got like a nice leather steering wheel that's like perfectly sized. I mean, like, I don't know how you could get more perfect than this. And we recently drove a Porsche GT3.
Yes.
Touring with the manual transmission, and at the time I said, and before I drove this, I've never driven one of these. Before, of course, I said Porsche has the best manual transmissions. I don't know.
Which we thought.
We thought. This is better. It's tighter. It's got way more of an way more of an analog feel to it, and it just feels like I can just bam. I mean, sniper rifle, bolt action. I mean, you name it. Any amount of adjective you want, it just has it.
So the thing is, why this thing is so special is nobody really cared about this when it came out. Everyone was like, Honda supercar. It was like the LFA when it came out. Yeah. A Lexus supercar. Who does that? Honda supercar. Honda makes commuter cars, not supercars. Wrong. Yeah. This thing is the definition of an early 2000s supercar.
Well, it's funny. It's almost the 90s supercar. Because it started in the 90s.
It did, with the flip-up headlights. Yeah. I love the way the flip-up headlights look on this car in the earlier generations.
Me too. And this one has the fixed headlights, so it's not as like retro 90s styled, but it is still very cool. And we have it in this amazing orange.
Imola orange.
It makes you feel so slick in this car. Oh my god. And you know what? The steering, I have to say, is definitely lighter than I expected. It's something that modern supercars get a little bit better, where it has a little bit of a tighter feel to it. But the chassis and the way it moves when you go around a corner is communicative and dead flat. Look at that. Oh my god.
I mean, the suspension isn't rough at all.
No,
like, over harsh bumps you feel it, but just driving, it's really comfortable.
It lets you know it's there, but it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Definitely.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, like
wow.
over there, that was a harsh bump, and when we had the GT3 and hard suspension, like we bounced over that.
Yeah.
That took it like a champ.
And there's no weird drive modes or things like that. I can't change the suspension. It's just perfect out of the box.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I do love about this car is we kind of have the same thing in the Pista, but the wheel arches, you can just see them.
Yes. Yeah, out of the front, I have perfect visibility. It's a really short nose.
Very short. Yeah.
And a long tail, so I have really good visibility forward. And it's just like I can see the humps. It's so cool. And like obviously with an open top, you just hear it more. And I love how the gauges are like simple and it's just exactly what you need. The tachometer and the speedometer share kind of equal real estate. It's not like one of those Ferraris or Porsches with the tach in the center.
Yeah.
But they're very clear. This thing revs to 8,500 RPM, which is huge for a V6, especially back then. But we didn't even get it there. I was pushing it in the same gear for a while. It doesn't get there. It's just they're long gears.
Yeah, it barely hit 5,000, I think.
Yeah, it was 6 or something thousand. It was like, and I shifted because I was like, all right, well, I guess it's time to shift.
Yeah.
But man, the story of this car is the handling and is the way this thing. Oh, the manual transmission, the downshift, and oh my god.
This actually feels like I'm genuinely surprised on how comfortable it is.
Another thing too is the braking is extremely confidence inspiring. You have an awesome feel to it where you can give it a little bit more and then push it a little bit further and it just boom comes to a stop, which I really love. Yeah. You can 100% see. So the story goes that Gordon Murray, the guy who created the T50 now, but also the McLaren F1, one of the most famous supercars of all time, benchmarked this car and actually wanted Honda to build the engine and help them out with it, but they just turned it down. And what a shame that is, because I bet you anything it might have been a little bit better with the Honda, creating a V12 for it.
That would have been sick.
Imagine two of these engines in the McLaren F1
that
like strapped together.
A W12.
That would have been amazing.
Throw two of the V6s together.
I can't believe it doesn't suck. It fully lives up to the hype. People rave about this car, and it 100% lives up to that. Sorry, we got one more pull in here. There it is. Wow, this thing does not feel underpowered at all. People complained about that back in the day.
Yeah.
That's not, by modern standards, it's still fast as hell. Oh my god. Woo! It's just plain fun.
Yeah.
Does it feel fun from your seat? It feels like so much fun from mine.
It feels amazing. So we're getting to Cars and Coffee in a few minutes. So we have been so grateful to drive this, and it is so exciting and so 90s JDM and so sick. I love it. I love driving this car. This is one of the great driving cars of all time. And I've driven a lot of cars. This is one of the greats, for sure. So we'll see you at Cars and Coffee.
We'll see you there.